Hey, it's me, Kelly, from TakeActionWOM.com, and we're continuing our little journey on 21 days to shift your money mindset. I had a little break for the Easter holiday, but I'm back and ready to go. We had a great weekend. We went camping and had a really good time. And now I'm back with my batteries recharged and just ready to hit the ground running. So I hope you're coming along with me. I think we're on day 9 or day 10 now. I've lost track. But I do know that the topic for today is forgiveness. Why would we need to worry about forgiveness when we're talking about shifting a money mindset? The idea here, as Kaya Singer explained in the book, is that if you have unresolved issues, that they're going to be blocking your channels of prosperity. I still don't have it real clear on how that works, but I'll take her word for it because I assume that other people probably know more than me. And I'll do whatever it takes to open my channels and make myself more willing to accept prosperity into my life. So this isn't something that I have a big problem with, forgiveness. I don't hold a grudge. I'm not a person that holds a grudge. But I know that there are times in my life when there have been things that have happened to me that I've held on to them for far longer than I should have. And they do keep you from growing. So in that sense, let's take a look at some of the things you can do if you're having trouble forgiving. If you take a minute and think about anything that's happened to you, someone who's hurt you in some way, and things that you might need to, someone that has wronged you that you need to forgive. One of the first things you can do is understand that by holding on to your anger or even hatred of this person, you're not doing any damage to them. You're only hurting yourself. These feelings stay inside you, and they tie you to that person. They actually, I think the Aramaic word for forgive actually means the same thing as untie. And what you've done is by creating these bonds of emotion, hatred, anger, whatever it is, you've actually bonded yourself with that person and you're not letting it go. So forgiving them loosens those bonds and lets you move on with your life because it's not doing anything to them, it's holding you down. The next thing you need to do is see if you can think of any good that has come from whatever the situation was, whatever wrong they did. In other words, look for silver linings. You can usually, no matter what situation has happened, you can usually find some good in it. Like I remember reading one time about Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. He's one of the most beloved Americans of all time, probably. He talked about when he was a child how he had been frightened by news stories that he saw on TV, and seeing big fires or where people were getting injured, hurt, killed, or an earthquake or something. Whenever he saw some kind of disaster on TV, that it scared him as a child. And his mom would tell him, look for the helpers. In other words, look for the people who are helping the other people. Look for the good that's happening. Even though there may be a terrible situation, there are good people there who are doing things to help other people. Look for those people. And that's kind of what you need to do in this situation. If someone has wronged you, even though it may be disastrous to you, whatever they've done, you need to look around because there are probably some people who have helped you get through it too. So you need to look for the good that's come out of it. You know what they say, that the best revenge is a good life or a happy life. And I think that's one of the good things you can do too, is show this person who wronged you, and not just them, but show yourself and the whole world that whatever the situation is has made you a better, stronger person. Come out on the other side. There's, from the step before, there are things you can learn from this, and with those things, you can improve what you had before, and these things can make you even stronger, an even stronger and better person. Remember that forgiving does not mean forgetting. This situation that I've got with my oldest stepson, We went through a lot of really hard times with him, and we've had a lot of trouble. It broke my confidence with him, basically, without getting into too much detail, because I have my other kid sitting right here, and I don't want to really dig into it too much with him here. But lost a lot of confidence in the older one. And he's doing better now. He's trying to make some changes. He's much better when he comes here to visit. He doesn't live with us anymore. But he's a lot nicer kid now when he comes to visit. I'm 16 years old, so you can imagine some of the things we've gone through. And I've forgiven him for the things that happened. Because I'm not going to hold on to those and let those things fester in me. There's no point. So I've let those things go, and I'm not going to keep punishing him over and over for things that he's done either, because he's a kid, for gosh sakes. However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to accept him into my house and think that everything's just fine. We still, when he wants to come over here, we call to his mom's house where he's living now and say, hey, you know that he's coming here. We make sure that everything's right, that he's not just running away again, or, we keep an eye on what he's doing. We don't just take his word at face value. And it's going to be a while before anybody in our family can do that with him, I think. Us, his mom, his aunt, all the people that he's betrayed over the last few years, people that he's lied to. So that's what I'm saying here. I have forgiven him for what he did. I don't hold any grudge between us. I'm not punishing him anymore for, there's no punishment going on for him. But at the same time, none of us have gotten to trust him again. So what I'm saying is that forgiveness doesn't mean that everything's peaches and cream again with that person. Just because you've forgiven him doesn't mean that you've let go of everything and you haven't become a little wiser, perhaps, and learned a lesson from what happened. Forgiving just means that you're letting go of the bitterness. You're improving things in your own heart. It's got nothing to do with the relationship with the person, really. It's more about what you're doing for yourself. And one of the ways that you can do that, is to stop telling the story of whatever it was that happened. Every time you tell that story, it's just another link in that chain that's tying you to that person. And like, think of elephants. Have you seen elephants at the circus or in the zoo? Have you ever seen, I don't think a lot of places do this anymore, but they used to put a stake in the ground and a chain around the elephant's foot, and I almost said paw, around the elephant's paw, but around the elephant's foot, and they would chain him to the ground to a stake. And the elephant couldn't go any further than that. Every time you tell the story, it's like you're tied to one of those stakes, and every time you tell the story of what happened, you're pounding that stake in a little harder and a little firmer, and it's keeping you tied to that spot. It's keeping you stuck in that place. You need to quit telling that story and let it go, because it keeps you tied there. You need to let it go. It's gone. It happened. It's past. We're moving on now. So I hope that these tips have given you a little bit of information that can help you move on. If you're having trouble forgiving someone, try to keep these things in mind and work through it step by step so that you can get this out of your heart. You need to clear it out of your life. Let this person who wronged you go on with theirs. Doesn't mean you have to trust them. Doesn't mean that you have to forget what happened. You just need to say, okay, bygones are bygones. I'm not holding it with me anymore. It's gone. There's a quote that I read once. See if I can remember it. To forgive someone, or to forgive, is to set a prisoner free, and then to realize that the prisoner was yourself. So with those very profound words, I will leave you tonight. Remember that we are working towards changing our money mindset and opening the pathways to prosperity. So if you're looking for more prosperity in your life, please check the link down below and hook up with me on the prosperity team. I'll be happy to help you along. You can send me a message, ask me for any more information that you'd like. But I'd really like to see you there. I'd love to help you start building a business for yourself and creating an income for yourself, creating wealth for yourself and your family. So until next time, I'll talk to you later. This is Kelly, the Take Action Mom. Bye-bye.